The little LN106 is on stands and front wheels are off. So what I've got in front of me here is, well, let me tell you why I'm doing this. So it's almost 30 years old and it's still running that factory steer damper. I mean, it's a pea shooter. But what I wanted to do is replace it. So while I'm replacing it, that tie rod is very vulnerable when you are in the rocks. You can see there that it's right at the front of the diff. It's not super low. If you're crawling and it's controlled driving, pretty okay. But it's when you're having a go at something and there's rocks and boulders that you really can't control, that is vulnerable to bending. Over the years of running the Hilux housings, we've bent many. So back to the early silver bullet days when, I mean, these things were just out of your reach as far as these ones. Well, we used to sleeve ours. So we did tough truck in 2002 and we had a bit of gal pipe sleeved over the top of that to stiffen it up and make it thicker. And guess what? We still bent it. What we're going to put on it is a snake racing chromoly rock rod, they're called, but it's replacing that tie rod. So that's the rod that holds your front wheels parallel to each other. So when you bend them and that goes in, well, then your wheels toe in both sides. So it's not fun. I've had them bad enough where it's actually hard up against the housing, and upgrading the ends to an 80 series tie rod end. So a lot bigger, and there's a left and a right with the jam nuts, again, left and the right. What this will do, it'll give you the confidence that if you are to bounce into something, first job is to get that steer damper off the housing side. Now, I don't have a tie rod removal tool, you know, the things that sort of clamp here and push down. So we're going to be tapping the edge of that. Now, a few important things to take note of is the length from the steer damper to where it's fixed on at that point, because with the snake racing rock rods, you have to put this plate on with these U-bolts, so you can choose whereabouts you want to put the end of the steer damper, as we'll show you. But I'll line that up on the ground. I'm thinking I'm going to have to get the grinder out and just cut it on the shaft. I don't think there's any way that this is going to come undone. Oh, no way, it is. It's undoing. Are you serious? 30 years old. It's clearly not done any saltwater driving. For that to be coming off, that is amazing. Hopefully I have the same good fortune with the tie rod ends. It actually steers all right, this thing. We want it to steer better. That is crazy talk. There's no way I'm going to be as lucky with these. So you can see I'm leaving the nut on. Now the reason for that is if it does drop, so it's tapered, so it's just going to go. So that'll hold it up while the other side's still bolted on. Who knows when the last time these were out. Alright, we'll give the passenger side a rest and we'll hit up the drivers. Yay! 100-point drive. So that's out. Geez, that didn't take long, you know, like I've mucked around with these cars for a long time, and anything I've tried to do on this car has come apart easily. Now back to the passenger side. Not good to do it this way, but we're not reusing it. Still a fail. Don't want to mark it too badly. Make it look like a butcher owns the car. You see it has got a small bend in it already. Over near the pumpkin, it tapers in and then comes back out. Come on, I'm gonna have to go get my earmuffs. Not happy. Yay! 100-point drive with a bonus, and it can be reused. So what we have here is the tie rod and a length, and we want to replicate that with the new one, having the same amount of thread on either end. So we want to center the rod and pop it back in. I mean, how hard could that be? So the jam nut, you loosen the jam nut off and then you wind the tie rod in or out, depending on what you need. I'm going to go and assume that snake racing is not to be upside down. So that means he's the right hand side, or the passenger. Right hand side the way I'm looking at it. I think this one has seen better days in any case, so that was the one that wouldn't come out nicely. But what I'm thinking is we're pretty much spot on. We've got the snake racing the right way round. You put a shifter on that while you tighten up the jam nut. I haven't gotten a tape measure out yet, but I'm just sighting it. What's a millimeter between friends? So see where the damper comes in. We're going to need to create that with that bracket. That's got to come in about 5-8 mil. So the times that we have bent these and the wheels go in and then you take them off, straighten them, or have to replace them, a string line around the vehicle, right around the vehicle, and then a measurement on the inside of the tire at the front and inside of the rear has been how we've gotten away with doing, I guess, wheel alignments on the front of these. That looks pretty good to me. Obviously the 80 series tie rod end, much stronger than a Hilux one. Bigger thread because it's a bigger diameter tie rod is what we have. What we'll do is we'll get the tape measure out now and we will double check my eyes, which by the way are some 54 years old. We better double check. 29 years old that steer damper is. So the way to measure this, if you're on your own, is to hold it on 100. And there's a hole in the center of the bolt, so you can hold it at 100. See how good these old eyes of mine are. So we have 1200 on the dot. Well, we've got 1300, so I've taken the 100 off. You've got to make sure that these are plumb to the eye. So obviously if it was left or right, it would change your measurement slightly. But I mean, it's not a Lamborghini, so I think if you're within QE, you would be okay. We are 2 mil too long. We'll wind that one in, 1 or 2 more turns, or we might wind this one in because there's more thread showing. And how I know that they're like parallel is, well, it's sitting flat on the back of them. So it's got a nice end for it to sit on, so you know that you're square. And we are spot on, 1200, center to center, exactly the same as what we've taken out. Tell you what else I've got for the LN106, trail gear CVs and axles. So we've got to work out a locker to put in it, whether I'm going a high pinion, which I probably will do. I have spare gears for bullet truck. These are 456, same as what we run on the comp car. But back to this project at hand. So I really just came here to change over a damper. But you know what? You can't just do the basics. That would just be so vanilla. And this just isn't vanilla. And then I guess if you're doubting yourself, you could do these ones. Face to face or nose to nose, end to end, I don't know. Well, I think we're spot on. Now the snake racing rock rods, they're made of solid 3140 chromoly. So that's going to offer significantly higher impact resistance. So be able to bash the front end into the rocks and not worry about the vulnerability of the tie rod. They're also zinc coated to protect against rusting. Obviously the muddy and wet conditions that the bottom end of the car cops. And then the other feature that it has, and I've never used it, but the adjustability. Now you can, with a big shifting spanner, move it left and right. So with the left hand, right hand tie rod ends, if need be. Take out the glow plugs, give it a quick squirt. So I did speak about replicating where this bolts on. I'm going to do something different. I've got a couple of options as far as brackets. This steer damper, it's a particular length. So we're going to get a measurement from the center to the shoulder here, open and then closed. And then what I'll do is I'll put a mark halfway, and that's where I'll want it to sit. Then in theory, I'm going to have left and right lock the same. Fully open, we're 530. Fully closed, 320. So that's 210 difference. We'll put a mark. So that's our center point. That is how we want it sitting. So that in there, that's the no-brainer. Then we just got to work out this side. I've set it up so it's in the middle. So it's set up now, and I guess you just got to work out the best angle you want. Then we put a couple of marks, make sure it doesn't move. We'll do the U-bolts. And then I like to just do like that. And we'll do the same here. So then whenever we're under here and we're looking, if the nuts are coming loose, we'll see. If the U-bolt moves, we'll see. So while we're in here and we've got the wheel off, I'm going to extend that diff breather just for the easeability of doing it now. Got the tools out. We'll take the factory breather off, and you can see here, being so low, that's why they suck in water when you go past this point. We need to find that same thread. Bingo! And it's a fitting that we can press the blue line in and then run it up into the engine bay, and then we are waterproof in the front. I'll get too old for this. Nicholas, you got to start taking over, buddy. Press the line in. Voila! Couple of zip ties. Allow for the flex, and the front is done. When we were competing on the factory steering and the J-arm setup, the cups, the half cups in the drag link were always something that we had to adjust or we broke. So I've got some genuine ones here. I sure don't like the look of that. We might need to replace that pitman arm. They're a punish to get off sometimes. Right, no steering. It's in. So this housing's been under bullet for quite a few years now, and even the discs, the calipers and the pads are the same ones as when we first did the conversion. So we're going to be replacing them with the terrain tamer, and I only learnt last week that they're actually different on the back of an 80. Now while the fronts did change around the 94 model, the rears are the same right through. So they obviously did, as they did on the 79s, an upgrade to the front brakes. One of the boxes had rear LH, so that's the left hand, and that was obviously the right hand. And to look at them, there's numbers that aren't the same, but they just look like the same thing, only mirror reversed. One's actually dearer than the other, so it's weird. We're going to use the terrain tamer, the fortified pads. How bad were they? Because since we put the new ones at the front, brakes have been terrible. We bled them before we started driving around the On All Fours Challenge. A lot of meat on them, have a look. So while there's plenty of pad, we saw at the front we had issues with the piston seizing. So we'll change them and keep these as a spare. We've got to be quick here, we will lose brake fluid. Copper washers, remove, replace. So swapping out like for like. The new ones don't come with these bits. It's not too bad. Remember, I've got builder's hands. If I can do it, you all can do it. So this is what 80 series people would be doing at their brake changes. Quite handy. The old Hilux drums, you had to take the drum off and get shoes off. Disaster. Whew. Tons of room. So these were genuine. So these are the cups and springs that go in that drag link, and I actually get Toyota ones as well as aftermarket. I find that the Toyota ones definitely outlast. That's the part number for them. As they wear out, yeah, they've got a worn out one here. See how the corners chip away? So that creates play on the ball. That's a bad one. So these are all when we were running. That's a good one. So the two together hold the ball on the end, and then this spring and the adjuster, they can set the load front to back. We might actually just pull the front one off, this one, because it's the one with play in it. Split pin out. So that end That slot looks like it's had a lot of adjustment time. Should just be a nice thin slot that you can get a screwdriver into. That's massive. Back one too, look how far in it is. So we might just pull this one apart and use what I've got to service it. So we back off, adjusting screw, and what that's doing now, it's releasing the springs and the two half cups. I used to do this all the time when Bullet Truck had conventional steering, like every trip, because the cups would chip away or what we were asking of it. There we go. So, whoo, hasn't no grease in it for a while either. They're not badly broken, just very, very dry. We're going to have to change this pitman arm because I don't like that. That is not right with the welds, but not now because I don't know where it is. It's in there somewhere. So there's grease nipples on these for a reason, to keep them greased up, lubed up. Needs to be lubed. Come on, magnet, do your job. There we go. So look at that. They're not super bad, I've seen them way worse. Just very, very dry. We'll get new ones in there, I'm in here. So these here are my genuine new bits. We've got the springs, we've got the cups. So the only thing I don't have new are these guys, but these are much better. So we're tightened up and we go to tight, and then if you can't go more to pick up the split pin holes, then you back it back off, and that back one, that's how it should look, not sunken in. 10 more mil. And then before we put the split pins in, we'll just do the steering wheel test to see if there's play on the ends. So I went a little bit left hand down because I didn't have a short stumpy slot head. We've driven it a fair bit since we've put the rock rod on, and the marks still line up, obviously not off-road. Because I've got the wheel off, I can actually see keys in the ignition, and you can see that there might be a touch of play on that front one, so we might just nip that up to the next split pin holes, which isn't going to be much.